I decided to make a video. This is sort of one of my collection videos. I break it down mostly because my collection's not organized enough in order to do an entire collection at this point. But for now, I've broken it down, you know, if you look at all my older videos, by brand usually. But this video, in order to try to cover a little bit more ground, I have combined some of my specialty polishes. This is the Sally Henson, and these are a little bit older, maybe a year or two old, from Big Lots. They're $1.60 from Big Lots. I don't know what they retailed for, but these are magnetic polishes, and the magnet is on the top. And I believe the design is kind of like this on the side of the bottle. It's, if I'm not mistaken, kind of a wavy pattern. I honestly sometimes just use these without doing the magnetic effect, though, and I have other magnets from other polishes that I don't think I've even filmed them yet. When I get to that part of my collection, I will do a video with, again, they might be combined with other polishes. But here, that first color was, this was Kinetic Copper. And again, I think I mentioned it in my last haul video that I love coppery bronze colors that are sort of on the metallic side. This color is sort of a light purple, and it's called Polar Purple 902. The first one, that Kinetic Copper, was 904. The next color, and this one needs to be mixed a bit, is Golden Conduct, and that's 901. And then this one I've never tried. Sorry for the hanger got something caught, like a hair caught on it. This one is a kind of an emerald, or sort of almost olive green, kind of an unusual, maybe even you could even call this kind of like a 60s green. And the bottle shows that it's, you know, this one's still wrapped, and it shows the kind of effect that the magnet gives. I've had this for a couple years. I've never used it, never opened it. It's number 907, Electric Emerald. And this is a very 60s, sort of maybe early 70s, sort of. A couple of my grandmas had that color for like a rug carpet in their living room. So then the last one is another unopened Kinetic Copper. Because I love the color so much, I just ended up buying another one. Don't know why I do that exactly. I guess I'm afraid they'll stop making it, but by the time I ever get to use it, it'll probably be too old. This is a specialty polish called Del Sol, I believe. And this is Sunkissed 8065. Made in the USA, it says on the bottom. This is a UV polish, so the color it's showing in the bottle right now, I have a fluorescent sort of hot light shining on my little area right now. So this polish will color change depending on the type of lighting, whether it's incandescent or fluorescent. Don't remember what the other color, but will be, you know, what it's like. But I will try to do a review of this if it still does change, because this one is older, and it describes the outdoor color as red, but I honestly don't remember this ever changing anything close to this bright red color. Although it's still a really cool color. I mean, it's peachy, super kind of, I don't know, cool, you know, shimmery look to it. You know, it's definitely, even if it didn't color change, a cool color. I don't remember, though, it changing to this radical color. I just think it gets darker, but I'm not really sure. Anyway, and it's kind of a shame summer just ended, because it's the perfect time to wear these kinds of polishes, but for some reason I don't wear these very often anymore. They do look pretty good as far as I remember, but I haven't worn them in a while. But this one is Pretty in Pink, and it's 8063, and it's the same brand. These were quite expensive. These may have been more than $10. I don't recall. I bought them at a sort of a specialty boutique, and they very well may have been that expensive. They may have been more like, I can't remember. They may have been $7.50 a piece, but in combination, the two seemed quite expensive to me. As I always mention, that I don't really buy super expensive polish. But anyway, the next one, as you can see, is really drying up. But it's a glitter polish, and it's Claire's Cosmetics. I believe I bought this in Canada. It's got, it's a light shimmery, and I'm gonna be quite honest, and I might get flack for saying it, I'm not a huge Claire's nail polish fan. I bought 3 polishes so far, and I haven't really loved any of them. They're just sort of fun. I guess I would say on a scale of 1 to 10 for fun, Claire's really knows how to do, I'd give them a 10 for fun. They really know how to make nail polish seem exciting, like when really unusual colors first started coming out, because like in my lifetime, back in the 80's, I remember when Wet n Wild came out with like a radical teal blue or really exciting blue. It was literally the first time I'd ever seen blue was probably in the mid 80's or the early 80's. So that's saying a lot. I mean, there may have been other times in historically, like maybe in the 60's, maybe other times they had colored polish, but you know, the outside of the pinks and the oranges and the reds and the peaches and those sorts of colors, there was a time when nail polish really didn't come in exciting colors, and Claire's really pushes the envelope for that. So I'm not gonna, it's more like their formula that I'm not in love with. I don't find for their polishes to show on the nail quite the way they look in the bottle, but maybe I just haven't bought the right ones. Now this is kind of a fun one. Sorry, it's really dusty. It's really not as old as you might think just because of the dust on it. This is a Claire's Mood Polish, color changing nail polish, and it says flirty and shy, and from my memory, these are pretty accurate, and I'll have to do a review of this one. I think of the Claire's polishes, this was my favorite, but I'll have to do, I know they're old now, so it's not really fair to, they won't really be reviews, but I'll do a demo, I guess, of these polishes that I've had for a while, just for prosperity's, you know, whatever, posterity, I said the wrong word, for posterity's sake, we'll just do a video of it, just, you know, just for the record. But, you know, it's not, I don't know if it's really fair to review a polish that's this old. I mean, these are probably well over 5 years old. But anyway, this is a late, like, I don't even know what you'd call this. This is sort of a layer cake. There's 3 different colors in the bottle. I don't know how many people have actually seen a polish like this. Maybe everybody's seen it and they're like, yeah, I know about this. But maybe not everybody has seen a polish like this before. There's a dark, sort of medium blue, solid blue, Superman blue on the bottom. And then there's a glitter layer. And then there's a light blue, sky blue layer. Now, it says on the top, do not shake. So this does lead to a problem. When the nail polish sort of separates, I don't really know, as you can see, I don't know if you can see, there's like a little sloshy, you know, like kind of gross looking clear coat sort of separated layer there. Well, it says do not shake. Well, how on earth do you keep your polish mixed if you can't shake it? So this was, by the way, these were $5.75 Canadian at the time and $5. That probably reveals how old they're. They're $5 US a piece. Over, so I probably spent like $15 in Canada on these, and or so. And I guess what I'd say about the Claire's, as I've already said, is the fun factor. Now this one was the most disappointing about. Well, I have to put a disclaimer about these sort of clear coat glitter polishes. I'm not one to really like glitters standalone. I know there are plenty of people that love to do glitter standalone. I'm not one of those people. I realize there's plenty of things that I do that people don't like. I've heard them say it in videos. So I know there are people who hate metallics, hate shimmers. So, you know, obviously the types of polishes that I gravitate towards, there are plenty of people that aren't fans of what I like. So I'm definitely not saying this, I'm not exactly saying this isn't a good polish, but as these clear glitter polishes go, this was not the best. Maybe if I experiment with different base coats, I'll like it better. But I'll have to try it again. Maybe I'll go to Claire's again and try to buy some new ones and do a proper review when the polish is brand new. But at the same time, I didn't want to pass up sharing these because they're probably out of, I would guess these are out of production because they're so old. By the way, the color for this is Mystical. Let's see, I don't know if this one actually has a color. Well, it's got the Flirty and Shy combo, I guess is the name for that one. And does this one have Blue Skies is the name of this one? I would guess for sure this one is probably like, almost like, people are probably like, wow, vintage polish at this point, because this is probably like, probably no one owns this anymore, it's so old. I mean, who knows, maybe they still make it. I don't see a Claire's on a regular basis to know. I literally haven't been to a mall, and it's kind of sad. I don't remember the last time I was in a mall. I've probably only been in a mall like a handful of times in the last 20 years. Don't live really near a mall, so I don't get to, like, when I was a kid, I used to go to Claire's all the time, buy earrings, all that sort of thing. So I'm definitely not knocking Claire's either. They're awesome store for, especially for like getting your ears pierced, going, like picking out earrings. And I'll probably still buy more nail polish for them. I don't want to make it sound like I'm just dissing them, because it's just, when it comes to the formula, they're not my favorite. But anyway, in the bottle though, this is the most, I can't think of a more fun thing to look at than one of these sort of layer polishes. They're a blast to look at. It's, maybe I don't know how to apply them right, but I can't remember what you get when you put this on, but it was kind of a disappointing, sort of, you get this cute little layered look in the bottle, but when you put it on your nail, you obviously just get sort of a mix of all of these colors, and it's just sort of like blah to me when you get it all on. But, as I said, look how fun that is in the bottle. But again, the mood changing polish, from what I remember, was actually kind of cool. The only thing is, and this may not be fair, why have I not worn this? I don't remember the last time I've worn this polish. Maybe it was disturbing to see it change colors when I wash my hands. I don't know what it was, but I've not worn this polish, and I apologize if we're just going on and on about this stuff, but I couldn't tell you why I don't wear, I probably haven't worn any of these polishes in over, I don't think any of these polishes have touched my nails in a year or two, and that's probably because they're kind of unusual polishes. I guess the ones that I regret the most not wearing in the last couple of years are these. These are beautiful. I really, really regret not wearing them more. I think the only thing I can think of is that it's not so much that they chip fast, it's that when they do chip, they chip in these large, giant, like, you lose like a huge section. Like as I mentioned in my other video, this manicure I have on right now, little bits have come off on the tips. But for the large part, if I'm just going to the grocery store, nobody's going to really be like, oh my gosh, your nails look, they're so chipped or something. I mean, they're like passable, I guess, in terms, nobody's going to freak out if, you have a little edge wear on a nail polish. But these do, like, come off in large chunks. But they're so much fun. This is something, and then obviously if you're going to wear a polish like this, you might go to the beach or go to the pool, so probably more likely to even be doomed. But, like, again, maybe things with, like, base coats, top coats, stuff like that changes everything. Maybe certain people's nails, they don't chip as fast. I'm sure there's some formulas that work better on some people than others. So, but ultimately, I would rebuy these. I'd buy more of these colors. Wish I had worn them more often. Again, on the formula on these, even though I haven't opened all of these, it's probably where these are stored in my collection more than anything. They're kind of off the beaten path of my collection, so I just sort of forget about them. The formulas are fine on these Sally Hansen magnetics. For magnetic polishes are a little bit different if you've never tried one. They're kind of a trend polish, I guess you'd say. I don't know if they're going to still be around. I don't even know if they're still around now, to be honest. But these polishes have a pretty good formula. They're very, I'd call them fairly opaque. I mean, they really are opaque. I don't remember any really major issues with chipping or anything, but Sally Hansen's a pretty reliable brand. I have no complaints really about Sally Hansen. Their prices can sometimes run a little, their variations in their prices are kind of, I've never really understood why Sally Hansen can have the $1.99 polish that wears like iron, is a beautiful color, and then they charge like $7 or $8 for another polish, and it'll be a metallic or it'll be a cool color, but I'm a little puzzled by why they have so many lines with all these different colors. But the quality with Sally Hansen is usually pretty good. Again, with the Clairs, these are just fun. I doubt I know this sounds horrible and clingy, but I doubt I would even throw these out, like, just because these would have to be pretty sad. They're already getting pretty sad, and I won't let go of them for some reason, because they are so fun. Like, this one, maybe not, I wouldn't be so worried about keeping, but how am I ever going to get rid of this cute little layered one? And it's probably kind of tacky in a way, but there's something that reminds me of years, like, if this had existed in the 70s or 80s, people would have gone bananas for this. I guess there's something retro feeling about Claire's. Fun, retro. Claire's might have had special polishes way back then, when I might have spoke out of turn about Wet n Wild being the only one. Wet n Wild was the brand that stands out in my mind. I used to go to this one store back in the 80s that had a huge selection of Wet n Wild colors, and I have one video with my Wet n Wild collection that shows one of those older bottles. They used to be sort of this shape with a long round, well, this sort of top, but with it was white, and they had so many cool colors for that time period. Maybe I didn't do enough nail polish shopping back then, but I do not remember anybody else having something like blue. And I know that sounds kind of silly to think that the 80s was the time I can remember blue nail polish coming out, mid-80s. So, and I wish I still had a picture or something of that polish. I mean, that poor nail polish would be so dried up by now if I still had it, but I had this sort of color that was somewhat along, it wasn't as dark as this, but it was sort of a metallic blue, and it was so awesome. I thought it was so cool. I was like still a kid, and I thought it was so cool with that blue nail polish, but and so radical. It was so much more daring to wear something like blue back then too. Everybody, like older people, would be like, "Why are you wearing that? That's horrible," you know. Like everything, like coloring your hair or like dyeing your hair blue or having blue nails was like just like so radical back then compared to now. But anyway, so maybe that's why, even though I'm in my 40s and maybe I'm a little old to still collect these fun polishes, but I guess it's sort of this, especially this front row with the Clairs and the Del Sol, totally reminds me of how cool it was when those new colors started coming out. And now, of course, you can get every color under the sun. Maybe there's a few colors I wish they had more of. You know, maybe I haven't done enough exploring of different brands, but I don't know. So anyway, I'm so sorry that my collection videos tonight have been, like, going way off topic, but hopefully, you know, if you got, for the people who lost interest, they just watched the collection and left or whatever, if they were bored with this whole little digression into the 80s. But anyway, not really planning on getting rid of, as it sounds so horrible to keep them, but like I just can't see getting rid of these, even though the quality is really not that great. These I'd probably more be not that sad to just throw out, because they probably, I don't know for sure if they still make these, but there probably is something similar in this world, some sort of UV polish that, I don't know, maybe I'll be reluctant to get rid of these too. I sound like I'm emotionally attached to this nail polish, but anyway, thank you for listening to my really weird nail polish story and looking at my sort of one of my more unusual sides of my collection. Thanks so much and have a great night.